Hello, it's Kyle here, and this will be the first of, well, I don't know if there are going to be any more, but it's going to be a mini analysis of a dance practice video of a K-pop group. In this case, it is Dreamcatcher's Maison. This was by a special request of a few insomnias, so here you go. Unless you've actually seen my other Queendom videos, I'm very much blunt and not aggressive, but I will definitely not hold back. So please don't be offended by things I say. It's just what I see, I'm gonna point out, good or bad. So just take it with a grain of salt. It's not like I dislike them, and it's nothing that's meant to be emotional or mentally aggressive, I guess. It's just commentary. Yeah. So, I hope you enjoy. And if this goes well, or if I have other videos that I'm interested in doing, you'll see those in the future. Yeah. Hope you enjoy. So, I should probably mention that I have seen performances, I've seen the music video, I've seen this before. So I'm basically just going through and talking about sections and what I see. Starting with my favorite section, the fight scene choreo, which is honestly, I wish they didn't do it. I get that it fits into the, kind of fits in the concept. Apocalyptic world, climate change, okay, maybe it doesn't fit. I actually don't understand it, maybe in the end. But fight choreo is really, really hard to do without looking cheesy, and I don't think this hit the mark. There's gonna be a lot of starting and stopping this and going back, and slow-mo. Like, if you watch even, like, Bora's punch, there's not much oomph in it, and it's just a really obvious fake punch. My favorite is Yukon when she pulls the guy up from the collar. She really likes using her hips and her butt and her arch, and she is like full on sexifying it. Like full arch to come up, which is in sexy choreo. The biggest offender, which is not her fault, but it's a choreography question, is Shion's jump lift. It's just like a little whoop, and I'm not sure how that's even like whoop. It just doesn't make sense. I sound like Alexa. Oh god. Oh, she does that too. Okay. Moving on. Okay, this part, I really like the leg by Jiu, Bora, and Shion, because if you listen to the music, it's syncopation, it's bum bum bum, and you will see it's not like a steady beat, and they hit the legs right on the beat, which is nice. Bum bum bum. And this is another thing I really like. Jiu does, as she turns, she does a little like extra, she leaves her head, which makes it sexier. And that's, I think, a choice she made because it's different from the other two. But the rest of her body is actually, the timing is the same. So I think that's a personal choice. The problem is doing that live singing, when you leave your head, I'll be moving around a lot to show. Because you have to move, when you go like this, you break your neck, which makes it really awkward to sing. So there was actually a live where she did do this near the beginning of promotions, and her voice, I wouldn't say it fully cracked, but it went like there was like a, you could hear it die because she like chopped off her neck while trying to do that. And later on she doesn't do that anymore. But it was a really, really nice choice, if not for the vocal distortion that it causes. Yes. I really like Yuhan's like intensity and aggression here, but that's just how she dances in general. This confused me why this just, I think this, I don't know if there was a reason for this. At first I was like, oh, maybe it's supposed to be like, you know, Shion's leg is actually her leg kind of deal, but both her legs are there, so it's just pulling her through, I guess. And Shion's using that as stabilization. I've gotten used to it, but at first I was just like, huh, random, I guess, nice visual effect. Could be lyric, because I don't know the lyrics. Oh, this is also one of my favorite parts. The timing of the bum bum bum. It's like a right, left, hit, which is in the music. I can't show it sitting. Bum bum bum. Okay, this is a small dislike. The hip part, they all do it differently, but it's not different enough for me to warrant them being like, oh, they're all just doing it in their own style. Like, Minji is Jiyu is a conserver of energy, so you can see she goes a bit like smaller, but she ends up missing the second hip. No, she ends up missing the center. She goes right and then holds and then hits left, whereas it's supposed to be right, center, left if you watch most of the others. Yes. And then Yuhyun hits that really hard at the end because that's what she does. But also when they perform this, it's even less clear, because dance practices are usually when their artists are actually most on point. So I don't know what ended up happening, that they, I guess, just didn't want to exert too much energy later on with these hips. I really like choreo that uses, I guess, intertwining and uses each other, so that was nice to see. This is a Gahyun thing that I noticed. So sometimes she looks like she lacks energy or she's tired. In this case, I'm gonna give her benefit of the doubt and say she's doing it in order to sing live, because if you're singing live and you want to focus on singing live, you theoretically should actually be muting your movements so it doesn't affect your voice like this. And there's like a little like boom boom in the choreo that she definitely mutes in order to save her voice. So, oh, actually, looking at her, she almost didn't make it there, but like she's trying to keep her upper torso very stable in order to focus on singing, which is the same as in lives. Otherwise, I would say that she's just lacking a little bit of energy, but she's singing there, so that's fine. Okay, this I will talk about when it's clearer. Right. Ah, okay. So this really confused me because there's no clarity between here, here, and here. It looks like they just kind of roll, but they all roll differently and different times, so it looks really unclean. And looking at the backup dancers compare because they should be doing the same thing because it's the same choreo. Some of the backup dancers do a very clear, I guess I'll use counts first. They go 1, 2, and. Whereas Dreamcatcher and other backup dancers are going 1 and 1 and 2. Musically, it sounds like it should be the 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and 7, and 8, which I will count when I play this again. But for this, the person on the left, he has a little blue stripe on his shoe. That's what I mean by really clear timing with the music. I don't know what's right, but that one looks correct. 1, 2, and da 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 da. So I don't know. And later on, it's actually more obvious because there are two backup dancers right in the middle of them who are doing that, at least in a live that I saw. And then so that's actually what got me thinking. I'm like, that makes a lot more sense than what they're doing. So yeah, I'm kind of curious what their direction or what their instructions were choreographically, because it's very, very, very unclear. And when there's a very clear expectation of what it would be, I'll go through it again later if it happens, if I see it. Oh. This is just a really weird position for legs. You don't want to. Okay, it also depends on your pants. Like the skinnier, the weirder it'll look. Like Shion's long, skinny legs on Weekly Idol. That was a bad choice for this dance. But Minji's actually okay. First, her clothes look great for this dance. But keeping your knees open is what makes it look really weird. If you don't have like baggy pants, I guess. Like the baggier they kind of hide, but like Handong and Shion's legs look kind of extra turned out and kind of bizarre. In the backup dancer on the left as well. So if you just like closed it a little bit, it'd be less like, huh? Yeah. This looks better when she's not trying to rap live because she can focus on the dancing. When she's trying to rap, you can, because she's picking sections of the rap to actually do versus mouth lip sync. Sometimes the dancing looks really off in terms of she doesn't get full movements because she's still focusing on her lips and her rapping. So I wish she either danced less and focused on the rap, or lip sync more and rapped less and went harder on the dancing. The biggest like part that bothers me is when she goes like, what the right here. That thing, it actually doesn't look bad here, but sometimes it looks really awkward, like hesitant, because she's trying to do multiple things at once. And that Be My Side, I I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people notice that it's very musical. That is jump, jump, and then side is like her arm and like a swivel thingy. But because her arm is low, it's not as noticeable. Whereas if she went like out, I think it would have been a lot nicer actually. Yeah. Like around, like more in front of her, it would have been a lot more visible and you could see it with the music more, but it's kind of muted and looks unclear. But it's not her fault because it's probably choreography stuff. Yeah. This is where you can see the very clear energy difference between Jiyu and Yuhyun. Not saying that one is bad or good because they're just different choices. It's just that they're so different and it's only a group of three, so it's even easier to notice the difference. Some might say, Jiyu looks lazy, but the way I see it is because there's lazy and there's conservation of energy. She's doing everything just without... She's still hitting everything and doing choreography other than that one hip thing, like pretty spot on. She's just doing it at a lower energy level, if that makes sense. So like she's actually saving energy from the rest of her body. She's moving the parts that matter rather than making everything big with her whole body. Like she doesn't need to move the rest of her body, I guess, to still do the choreo. Which, if you're familiar with Eyes One, that's something that Nako always did. I just really like that door choreo for some reason. It reminds me of a different group. I would normally say that the difference between Handong and Bora is like too extreme in terms of energy and how big they're doing it because it's only the two of them, but because it's kind of like they're not doing it in necessarily, they're not supposed to be as in unison because she's facing the back and then Handong is also singing, so the difference is not as noticeable. But like sometimes when you have two people, it's like, oh, you're supposed to have mirror choreo, so then you would expect them to be more similar. And this one, it's kind of like, I'll take it, it's a pass, it's fine. I like how they changed levels. I hate repetition. It's one of my pet peeves because I just kind of think a choreographer is lazy. Yes, there's using motifs and themes, but then there's also just copy pasting. Yeah, I liked how they like redid this and made it the second chorus. It's more impactful too. It doesn't seem like it's as much of a repetition, even though the bass is the same. Wait. Ah, it's these two backup dancers in the back middle. If you watch the two guys, it's very clear the timing. 1, 2, and da da da. Do 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 do. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Oh man, this part. There is a lot of confusion for me for this. I feel like I could have gotten down more smoothly than like a crouch push. Like they could have bent in the bottom leg and then slid out, but they were doing it fast. I guess it was fine. The thing that doesn't make sense is why Dammy went that way. It's not symmetrical at all. Like you would expect it to be like 2 in, 2 out, 2 in, or I guess in this case, 2 in from the back, and then Dami should also be in with Handong. But for some reason, it's lopsided that Dami and Gahyun are on one side, and then Bora's on the other side, and Handong is the same as Dami. So it's like opposite, and then same, and then opposite. And the reason seems to be that for this leg, the three of them, Dami, Gahyun, and Bora, they do a leg with music. Bora does a swivel. The other two do like a little kick thing, but it's, you can't see the other two do the kick thing. It would have been fine if Bora just did it. So I don't think it was worth the effort to make Dami do that leg. Also, they should have solidified how they're getting up, because some of them are struggling. Sorry, Yuhyun, you have a really hard time getting up. And this is just a little pet peeve where their feet should either all be together or not together. But details, actually no, details matter. I don't know why the choreographer or whoever, I don't know if Bora actually like handles the rehearsals or if it's choreographer for everything, because I know it's different for every K-pop group. But I feel like someone should have noticed details. This is really nice in that, see, they have the details for this where they alternated legs and shoulders, which is why other details missing confuses me. But that was just really nice. And then they also all had choice with their arms for this like slide forward. This part's just very messy between everyone, including backup dancers. It's really, really hard to whip your arms really fast and also make it look good. I actually think the only person I would say that looks good is the front. Oh, it's the blue striped shoe backup dancer. He's the only one who does these arms nice. Because everyone else kind of looks like they're thrashing and just trying to get their arms somewhere. Some people do it smaller, some people... this part is just... I think because they go fast, they didn't have to do such big movements. The thing that makes this hard and tiring, fast movements and big movements. But the thing is, they could have had the same impact with slightly smaller movements or less like extrinsic, because if it's more physics, the further it is from your body, the harder it is. And that's why it's harder to move fast like this. If they had smaller movements or closer in movements, but still kind of big, or just maybe even just not necessarily slower movements, but like more musical instead of going bom 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 bom, they could have had it easier and cleaner time, I guess. Yeah. It's funny because I guess the choreographer has a tendency to just at the last chorus go hard. This is from Scream. Just go really, really hard for their first half as like a dance break at the beginning of the chorus and then go back to normal. So it's like the one big dance section. I wish it was more, there was more spread out or it lasted longer, but it's, they have a very normalized pattern for their choreography and their songs too. This actually isn't something I noticed, but it was brought to my attention that Jiu is doing her part and then has to slip through everyone to do her next part because for some reason she had 2 parts in a row and the choreographer, she had to do like a quick ninja through everyone. I just have to comment on Yuhan's very, very nice use of hips this whole section. I don't know how she does it. It's like dislocating her hips or something. It really brings the style out compared to everyone else. I'm also confused why they went from this all of a sudden to this, unless this is just at the M. I guess it's fine to introduce it because it's the first time they're introducing the La Maison part in the lyrics. So I guess that's why they introduced this at that point too, actually. But it was just like, where did this come from? When they've been doing this the whole time. This I like how they actually separated the backup dancers and the Dreamcatcher instead of having them like front and then back, because this actually brings attention to his backup dancers existing rather than just for backup. They're like more integrated, which is, I think, a good use of backup dancers. A small gripe is that this timing, the middle guy in the front row and Bora, for some reason, they like to go down slower. This was also actually something that was brought to my attention. But like, Bora, I'll use Bora as an example, but the other guy does it too. She turns and then drops, while everyone else, the others, they turn and drop at the same time. So that's just another unclear detail, which I can't give benefit of doubt due to style. It's just because there's not really style involved. It'd be nice if all the arms just went woo together. But instead, Bora has to catch up faster. This is really nice canon. And use of backup dancers as well. Yep. That is everything. Happy Due Day. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed what I ended up seeing when I watch these things. Also, it's fun just having discussions with people about these little things. There are always good things and bad things to everything, including for my own performances. Like, the reason I'm a very critical person on myself as well. Like, I'm almost never am happy with my own performance because there's always something. It's almost impossible to have it go the way you want, if that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed all the little things I pointed out. I hope it actually makes you enjoy dances and dance video practices more. Because there is a lot of interesting things that they do. Yeah. And just as a side, I would probably, this is my favorite Dreamcatcher song and dance. Thanks for coming. See you next time if there is one.